Hello and welcome back to my channel. So thank you very much for joining me today. You could probably tell from the thumbnail what the video is going to be today. Sometimes I do my thumbnail in advance or after, so sometimes when I do the thumbnail I forget that when I've done the video I've already said certain things, and as some people say, obviously we guess what's in there because you put the thumbnail on. So what I'm going to do today is a free roaming Theraphosa Stirmi. So what I mean by that is an enclosure I've been looking for some time with no lid, nothing at all. And I was thinking of basically doing like a section of the room behind where I build something and it's open. But Lucy has been getting rid of a coffee table for some time now, so I've had it in the room for a little bit, and I just thought instead of getting rid of it because it takes up a bit of space, put it in here and then I'll do something with it. So I'll show you a picture there of the coffee table, and you can see where I've got the wood going down at the bottom. At the bottom there, that's OSB board, and what I've done is I basically took the base of the actual coffee table out and removed the center of the top of the coffee table as well, and it had a drawer that was going in and out, so I had to remove the rails from it and then seal in the drawer. And then what I did from there was basically put OSB all the way down four sides, create a bottom, L plates at the bottom on the outside and the inside to create strength, and then secured it in strongly around the center. And then basically had to weight test it because obviously with substrate in there, and it was, I think I bought a substrate block which was, I think it was 75 litres, nearly 80 litres of substrate. I've got off eBay, so I've got that, which used the whole thing in there. So that's how much substrate is in there, tons. So you can see from the wood there, I've put going around the side, and it created a gap where I want it to come in because you've got the frame bracing the legs of the coffee table. It's a very, very sturdy one. So I come across again, and then I've used wood in the middle on the base, so I created like a Z, so a Z frame or Z frame if you're American, and just secured that in just to create strength. And then what I did was got Lucy to test it, so I've got her to stand in there. I think she's 58 kilos, something like that, so it can handle 58 kilos, which is more than enough for what I've got in there, but I needed to test it to hold that strength. It didn't flex at all, so it was brilliant. Then I lined it, as you can see there. So I lined the inside with basically a really, really sturdy, thick rubble sack, and I did the same on the outside as well. So it's all reinforced and it's all protected inside and outside for moisture as well. And then I did the same and made sure I filled in all the gaps, and then I just put the framework in on the side to cover up that gap either side, so I've added more strength. And then on the edge of the lip of the coffee table, there's like little chips of wood and stuff like that, but I left in there because Lucy said it created character and she liked that as well in there. So then, as I said, put the substrate in there, absolutely tons. That was only some of it. And then I started putting plants in there as well, and you can see you've got the rubble sack going around, but I've changed that and covered it up since, so I'll show you that shortly. And then just some different angles there of some more plants going in and some leaf litter, and there we have it with the two hides. So you can see I've got two hides in there, rock going down through the middle, which I'll show you in a second. But basically what I wanted to do was not put one Stirmi in there, but two. So probably going to be a bit controversial, people saying you can't do that, but I've been doing a lot of research, and they must be, I've seen from a lot of research where they get found. You can see all this on Google and YouTube and other documentaries. You can find like a Stirmi, and then within a few feet you can find another spider, and then within a few feet again you can find another different type of spider. So they all just live similar areas close together, and they're obviously aware of each other, and they just don't go too near each other. If they do, they die or they run off. So what I want to do is put a female in, which I've got a confirmed female, and she's molted a good few weeks ago now, 3-4 weeks ago, so she should be ready to eat as well. So what I'm going to do is just show you the enclosure, get her in, and then leave it for a couple of days, and then show you some footage of where she's gone, and then obviously see if I can feed her and see if she's settled and give you an update to see if she climbs out. But I don't think she will, because I've been studying her in her enclosure and she doesn't ever touch the sides or climb, period. So I've left the lid off and she still doesn't come out at all. So I'm putting her in there with no lid and we're going to see how she goes. And then eventually what I want to do is get a male and then leave him over to the right side because the left is bigger, and I want to leave him to the right and then see if they can live. And I've done a barrier down the middle, which I'll show you. So let's go over and have a look. So as you can see, I've got a couple of plant species in there. I can't remember the names of them, but Lucy does. I might get them and put them on at the end. But this one's already grown because this has all been set up now for a month. So they've settled in really, really well. So I've got a big hide there and I'm leaving that dry on the inside. And then I've just created all the moss all the way over. And then I've got this big rock from where I live locally. And I've reinforced the base at the bottom with a bit of wood there just to secure it to the side, just because that is a good 10 kilos. And then I've done the same coming down through here, just to create a separate divide. And I've put the water dishes where Lucy got these leaves for me. And you can see already in there, there's a load of like bits of dirt and substrate. That's not from me doing it, that's from the wood lice that I've put in here. Every night in the dark, they're all over the place. I think I put about 20, 30 in here and they're breeding already. And they come out and they run up and come in here on the edge and then they just drop it in bits of soil, but I'll just leave that as it is. That's where I want the female. And this plant is already grown already, this spider plant. And this is good for humidity and oxygenating the room, which is really, really good. And it's grown, when I first put it in, it was back here. So it's grown already, which I wanted it to do, to create a canopy over this side of the enclosure. And then I've just done moss all the way around the back. And like I said, there was 80 litres of substrate in here. And then I've put this plant in as well, which is really, really good, and that's growing. It's already coming to the side of the enclosure. And when I first put it in, it was about that sort of big. So it's grown really, really quick. And then what I've done is I've put loads of thicker moss, like pillow moss, this side, which I get from my area, and it goes all the way across the whole enclosure this side, because this is where the spider will not be living. But the reason I've done that is because this is where the woodlouse live. You can see there's loads under that, and I basically just water over it, and they live down in here as well, there, and then underneath the plants, and they come out every night and they roam around in there. So that is absolutely brilliant. And what I do is I break off little bits of lettuce, tiny bits, and leave it all around here at the top and around this side, and then after about 2 days they eat it all, and I never leave any in there. And as you can see, there is none going around everywhere. And what I've done is I've created this big branch, should have room underneath for little beasties and things to run around, so it can go that way as well. But I'm hoping the spider doesn't go under any of those. I mean, it should use that hide. And this is the one I've done for the male. So I'm hoping that this is going to be adequate enough. And then what I've done is I've covered up the black rubble sacks on the side, and I've just covered them up with this like waterproof carpet layer. It's not astroturf, but it's a similar sort of material, and it's waterproof. You can spray on it and it just beads straight off. And then what I do is I come in and mist every morning in here, and it just creates quite a bit of humidity in this section, and I make sure the substrate is nice and cool with moisture, and it adds also moisture to my room. So what I'm going to do is, if we get the Stirmi, and then we see if we can pop that in, and let's see how she takes to this enclosure. So there she is. She fills that tub. She's nowhere near fully grown, but she's really big size to go in here, and she's really well behaved. She just kicked some hairs because I've just quickly cupped her, which I expect from her. She showed her fangs and went up into a threat display, literally right over. But let's just see if we can pop her in and see what she does. I think you guys can see there. There we go. Gosh, she's well camouflaged from there. and I've kept it slightly drier in her hide for the minute. You can see there's some darker patches of moisture which comes from underneath, but I just want to see if she can dig around in there and keep it a little bit dry and see if she'll web out. But I think you'll agree this is perfect, absolutely stunning. Very chilled. And look how long her hairs are on her abdomen. Look, you can tell she doesn't kick any hairs. That was the first time I've actually seen her kick hairs today because I was getting her out. I mean, look at the hairs on the legs. Beautiful spider. I might just see if she'll take a food item now. I mean, she probably won't, but it's worth a try. Oh, she did. I did not expect her to take straight away. Look at that. And this is her first meal after molting. So it's the end of 3 weeks. So she took that long to recuperate. Very good condition. Just need to plump her up now slightly. So she'll probably power eat now for the next couple of weeks. The size of that carapace. And it's a good way to judge the size of the abdomen. Her abdomen is smaller than her carapace slightly. It looks bulbous on there, but to the eye it's not. So she can actually fill that up a little bit more. But quite an easy species to care for if you do the humidity right. Quite easy to look after, and if you get them used to you going in and out of the enclosure, they don't really kick any hairs. And I've had her since a baby. So that is absolutely brilliant. And I think she'll go in there whenever she's ready. I am so happy and pleased. And if you see where she is there's the hide. And you've got the other which I want to use for a male over there and have them cohabiting together, because you've got the divide with the rocks, leaves and the water dish. And from what I've experienced with her in her own enclosure, I do not think she'll cross that. Obviously she can, but I just want to see what they do, and I'll keep an eye on them obviously, but I'm not going to put a male in here for some time now. I'm going to wait for her to grow. Plus I've not got a male, I'm going to have to try and find one, which shouldn't be too hard. But there you go. Absolutely stunning. Right, so there we have it. That was quite easy to put her in. She's quite chilled at the minute, and she's feeding straight away, which I didn't think she would do. Normally when you put certain tarantulas, move them from home to home, they get stressed and they don't eat for a couple of days. They like to settle in, get their pheromones off their web, but she's very chilled. And the tip that I have with these is I found most spiders that you want to have out as display spiders, from when they're babies, don't give them hides. Get them used to being out in the open, used to molting, and then I find that's the most vulnerable time for them. So if they molt out in the open and then they realise they're safe, they're fine, nothing's happened, and you don't disturb them too much, they just get used to it as they get bigger. Because mine are on the floating tubs behind on the wall, and I go off and take the lid off and I mist every day or every other day, and they just stay there and they stay where I mist. They just get so used to it. So putting her in there, I think that's going to be brilliant. And if she does manage to climb out, I mean, obviously she can still crawl up and out. I'll just pick her up and put her back in. It's not an issue, but I don't think she will. So it's going to be an interesting one for you guys and myself to stay tuned to see if she stays in there. And then if she does, after a few weeks, then I'm going to try and find, probably next month, a male, and put the male over the other side, and he should pick up on our pheromones and stay away in his hide. He should stay there. He's got room to come out. He's got a good foot around him, because that's 3 foot, I think that's over 3 foot coffee table, so they've got plenty of space to walk around themselves. And then that'd be brilliant if we can do that, and that'd be interesting to see. I think that's the first as well on YouTube, so that is just really, really good. It's going to be so interesting for me to see how they take. If not, the female stays in there. If she doesn't like it, if she keeps coming out, then I'll put her back into something else, but I think she'll be fine. And then I'll end up keeping an eye on the male. It's a bit easier for me because I'm in here every single day, so I get a chance to keep up an eye on them. There's no one else in this room. It's all sealed. If I lose a spider, it's not too much of an issue. But I think it's going to be interesting, especially the bigger she gets. And I want her to get absolutely huge, monstrous size, and then see if we can breed her in there as well. So what I'm going to do is give it a couple of days and then I'll film again and see what she's done with digging, and then give her another feed, and I'll show you what she's done if she's in there and let you know if she's come out or not, so stay tuned. So there we go, as we pan up through, she's been out all over here. I've been coming in the evenings and daytime as well, and she comes out and has a look around, but she's in her hide at the moment. See if I can get a little bit closer. And there she is. So she's been doing some slight digging, and she's also been laying some web around as well in her hide, but she does not go too far, which is quite surprising at the minute. I thought that she would come out and come over to this side, but she literally stays this side here and just traverses around. She's tried going up here and then goes back in, but she hasn't come out once at all, which is just amazing. So really happy with that. Let's see if she will take again. She's been eating well this week, so let's just give her another Mario worm. Quite the size of those fangs. And she's the most chilled I've ever had out of a Theraphosa Stirmi, because I've had about 3 now, and I've had 1 male and 2 females, and the females previously have been quite feisty, and this one is super chill. And there we go, she'll probably stay in there. Later on she'll come out maybe in the afternoon when it gets a bit warmer, to let some airflow go over her. But yeah, this is working out really well. I pan back and she's got plenty of room in there, and I just give it a light misting a couple of times during the day, and it's absolutely brilliant. So got plenty of room for the other one, but I might wait a little bit longer now. I'm going to try and find a male, like a young male. That'll probably take a year to mature, and see if I can put that there, and I'll do future updates of that as well. But there you go, so it's working out really well. And above her enclosure I've just got tubs of my fossorials that I keep there, and it's just literally right next to the window, so it all gets sunlight round there as well. So it is really warm. I think it's 24.9 degrees at the minute, so it's brilliant. And it's a bit cooler in the hide. But there we have my Stirmi in a free roaming enclosure. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure you click that subscription button and click that bell notification if you want to see future updates of these. And I'm very interested as well, just to see how she does. But it's been a total of a week now after, and she's not even attempted to come out once. So I think I'm absolutely fine with this. So this is really pleasing for me. So I'll keep you all updated, and I'll see you on the next one.